Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a new year, and there may have been some changes at BackToFrankBlack.com, but I'm back like a bad Peter Watts prophecy you just can't get rid of. And today we're talking about a Season 3 episode of Millennium, 7 and 1.
Photos sent to me before.
But you knew who sent those?
Originally, they were the MO of a killer that we caught and is now dead. I've had some sent to me again in the last 3 years, and when I retired briefly, they were snapshots of my daughter and my wife. That man is deceased as well.
And these are the first you've received since then?
Since my wife died.
These are different, aren't they?
They've never been of me.
These aren't exactly of you.
These pictures have been digitally altered by a computer and then retaken with a camera. Pictures of pictures, if you will.
You know, there are times when I wonder if the Eastman Kodak Company didn't help underwrite Millennium, because it seems like every time you turn around, there's a Polaroid causing a problem in Frank's life. Here again, we have someone picking at Frank from the shadows. Someone trying to destroy his life, ruin his credibility, and just make him think he's going crazy. But the question is, who's really behind it? And why is all of this happening? And really, is Frank the only one here who's having this problem? Well, as the episode goes on, we see that there are certain secrets in Frank's past that he doesn't really want to talk about. And that's what he's being confronted with here tonight.
I've never been so scared in my life. Then my dad came, fire department, and they threw a blanket over the body. I've never been able to get it out of my mind. It's haunted me.
Throughout the episode, we find that Emma Hollis is trying to get to the bottom of this. Partly because she doesn't want to see Frank take a bum rap for something that's not really his fault. But also we find that she's got some problems too. There have been lots of secrets in her life that she's had to confront since joining up with Frank Black in the FBI. And so we kind of find that she has to face her inner demons and figure out a way around them, face her fear, and become stronger. And only by doing that can she really help out Frank, which is, you know, a great story about friendship and the bonds we have with other people. But one of the biggest problems with this episode is Frank's own secret. We find out that Frank has yet another brother that he has never spoken about. This guy has more brothers than the Dudley boys. I don't understand what's happening here. I guess that, you know, all those times that they had the family reunion, there was the Midnight of the Century episode when he went and saw his dad, talked about his brother. This other brother, I don't know, he must have turned out to be like a tax cheat or an internet venture capitalist or somebody you just don't want to talk to anymore, because they just never seem to mention him until now, which doesn't make a whole lot of sense. Why it couldn't have just been his brother who we already met, I don't know. Why it couldn't have just been a close friend he had as a child, I don't know. But they felt the need to say there was another brother, and they make it sound like he had a lot more. Frank says, one of my brothers had a problem with this. Like, what's he at, 8? Is there like a dysfunctional Brady Bunch where the other half is living in a shed in the backyard that we never saw? I don't understand what's going on here exactly. But that aside, this really is a great episode talking about Frank, his gift, the nature of the Millennium Group, his place within prophecy, and his faith.
How well do you know him?
Frank?
Yeah.
Pretty well, I think.
You know, I've seen this before.
I'm not sure what you mean.
Agent's too long on the job, a tendency to over-dramatize, even fabricate scenarios.
You think he's making it up?
Look, we're not going to find any evidence in the house. He can't ID the intruder, and he won't leave the house. Like I said, I've seen it before.
You think he sent those photos to himself?
Well, could have taken that, altered it, he has access to the equipment.
You're talking about a breakdown.
I'm talking about the beginnings of a breakdown. Very possibly get worse.
Many people like me, I really enjoyed Season 2. And when Season 3 started, it was kind of like a swift kick to the pants. Suddenly everything about the Millennium Group, prophecy, angels, demons, all of that was kind of thrust aside. And you went off in some other thread, which some people liked because they didn't like Season 2. But for people like me, Millennium really grabbed a hold of us during Season 2, and then Season 3 just kind of seemed to drift away. With this episode, it seems almost like the guys behind Millennium are starting to say, okay, we get it. All of you guys really liked Season 2. So we're going to grab those elements and pull them in here. We got the Legion demons. We got talks about faith. We got prophecies. We got all sorts of that kind of stuff that was big in Season 2 that we seem to have lost. And the return of the Legion demon is one of those things that we were really hoping to see again before the show was going to wrap up. Now at this point in the production, they were still kind of hoping there'd be a Season 4, but it was pretty clear there wasn't going to be. So they were, taking care of some of this stuff. But this is one of those that really breaks my heart, because it really makes me wish, had there been a Season 4, there would have been follow-ups to this episode, which is really the type of stuff I enjoy. Okay, we only have a couple seconds left, and I figure with it being a new year, new beginnings, new starts, everything like that, I'll tell you about the mask. Everybody always asks, why do you wear the mask? And, I hope I have enough time to get through it. We only have a couple seconds here, and I don't want to run out of time, because I'm afraid I'm going to use up all my time, and the video is just going to cut off dead before I can actually get the explanation out. But here's the deal. See, back in 1863, there were three